Hi guys, Patty from Patty's Crafty Spot, and I wanted to share with you a quick little tutorial on how I use my Crealies dies. So I'm making some samples right now, and you will see in another video I had gotten a second round of dies from them, and they're really pretty. So I'm making my samples, and I know I had a lot of questions the last time asked on navigating the website because apparently some people are having some issues. So let me just walk you through it. Let's see how close we can get. So this is the website. So what you want to do when you're on the website is to get to the English version, you have to tap the little British flag. So it changes the language for you. So then it goes to English. And then these on the edge dies that I get. So over here, let's see how, maybe I can just make it bigger. So over here under store, you're going to scroll down, and this is just where I found mine. So they're on the edge. So you just click that. And then it takes you to all the dies and stuff that they have in this store. And again, shipping, just like the first time, was super fast. I got it probably within, this one was a little longer, but I don't know if it was because of like weekends or whatever, but I think the first one I got in 7 days. This order I think I got in like 9 days. So it was only a couple days difference, so I think it had something to do with the weekend. But anyway, that's how you navigate around the website. So just make sure when you can't understand the language that you just tap on the little British flag and it'll change it to English. So that's all you got to do. And then when you place your order, you do your order, submit it, and then you don't pay anything right away because then it figures shipping and they send you a PayPal request for the shipping on it. So pretty simple. So let me just show you how I use these dies. So if you're not familiar with on the edge dies, not even necessarily theirs, but dies that you would use, sometimes it is a little difficult to line them up, and I'm going to show you an easy way that I figured it. So I just had a simple 12 by 6 inch flap. I'm going to make some pockets, and I just scored it in the middle 6, so it is 6 by 6, and this is going to be how I'm going to be making my little samples that I will show in another video. So because this is 6 by 6, my pocket I need to score. So I'm scoring a 1/2 inch on each side. So I need to match my 6 inch pocket. So I am going to score on the 1/2 inch and then 6 1/2. So we're not going to worry about the bottom part yet. So this is how I line mine up. So you will need some washi tape is the best to use. So let me see if I can zoom in for you so you can see what I do. Alright, so it might be a little hard to see. I can kind of see my score lines. So what I am going to do, so I can line it up between the score lines. So I'm going to make my score lines first so I know the space that I have to work with is within here and here. So you scored it this way. Now I'm going to rotate it because I need to line up my die. So what I found the easiest way was, this way here is the harder way to line up the die. So I'm going to put it on here, and I'm going to take this, my ruler, this is a Tim Holtz ruler, and I'm just going to kind of lightly press, and this way the die will go up against the edge of the ruler. And then I'm just going to kind of eyeball between my score lines. So I can kind of eyeball it because there's not that much space. These dies are pretty close to 6 inches. They're probably like 5 3/4 length. So line it up. Just a little bit of pressure to keep it up there in between the score lines. Then I'm going to take some washi tape while I'm still holding it there. And I'm going to, just like that. So then what I'm going to do is run it through my machine. And if there's all kinds of noises, I apologize. It is kind of close to the camera. Alright, so there's that. So the first thing I want to do before I start hacking away at everything here is, like, I have the 6-inch pocket, so I want to make my pocket itself, my 6-inch flap. I want to make the pocket itself, let me zoom out now. I want to make it 4.5 inches, so I need to adjust for the 1/2-inch score line at the bottom. So what I'm going to do right now, off camera, you can't see because it's too much to move, is I'm going to line this up in my cutter, and I'm going to cut it at 5 inches. So let me do that. So I'm at 5 inches right now. And now I just need to make my bottom score line for my pocket. It's easier to do it when after you cut it. That way nothing shifts, because your paper, once you cut it, literally you're going to have to be lining things up from the point. You can just even do it in here, but it's just easier if you line everything up before you chop it all off. So then what I'm going to do is just pop it out now. So there's that. So because it's between the score lines over here, these are going to get folded over. You just have to make a little snip. Just like that. Now I'm going to add my score tape. And I'm going to create my pocket. Oops. And then just angle my corners so I can fold it over. And I'll show you how I attach my pockets on things, because sometimes it is difficult to line things up. So I will just give you a quick little hint how I do mine. So I just want to make sure I burnish down my pockets. So how I line my stuff up. So what I do is I eyeball the corners to make sure they're on, and then I also make sure everything is lined up at the top pockets, like up here and here. Then I put my hand on it and keep it in place, and I just flip open the first flap, and I just peel it off, press it down, and then I can flip it over, and then I can just remove the rest of the score tape, because you have a good side down, so usually it will just go down nice. Sometimes if you kind of bend it as you're folding, it might take and go crooked. But for the most part, it stays nice. So that's using the die in that direction. And let's see. Let me just add some contrast there so you can see it. So for the inside of my pockets, I'm just cutting some paper. Oops, wrong size. So there's that, like that. So now let's do the reverse side. So that is this way. Now let's do a pocket the next direction. So again, I'm going to get a piece of paper. So my paper is 7 inches wide. And I'm going to score on a 1/2 inch and 6.5. Rotate my paper. Now when you're using the dies this way, it's much easier because you've got, when you're doing it this way, you just have the point to line up. in balance, so that's why you need the ruler. But if you use them this way, you've got two ends here, so those line up really easy. So it's just a matter of eyeballing your center, and you just hold it. And tape it. And here right now, if you wanted to, because you've already got it before you even run it through the cutter, you can cut it at the, well, I'm going to cut it at the 5 inches now while it's still square. And then I'm going to score my 1/2 inch line on the bottom. And I'm just going to cut it out so you can see it. These are really fun. I haven't even had a chance to play with them yet because I've had so many mini album orders I had to make. So if you need any blank mini albums, let me know. I do sell them in my store, and you can check that out at pattyscraftyspot.com. And I do ship all over. It's funny how the shipping on these dies coming from Holland make it in 7 days, but when I ship out a mini album, it seems like it takes forever to get there sometimes. So just, let's see. So we can go ahead and remove this because we already scored our bottom line and cut it. And then we just need to snip very slightly. So sometimes you got to snip this direction depending on how the die is, and then sometimes you have to snip from the top. And actually, that didn't even go all the way through. That's weird. I must not have cranked it far enough. So it actually fit right back in there because it found its spot. So let's crank it through again. I'd go all the way through, but the problem is I don't have enough room on my desk. They have electronic cutters, and I'm real tempted at some point to get one. Because cranking sometimes is a pain in the butt. Okay, now we went all the way through. So let's pop this off. Oop, cut all the way through. Perfect. Now these would be nice too if you made them longer and you brought it down and you could actually make an envelope part of it. It would be really pretty. So let's tape this one. I know some people seem to be nervous. I have had talked to a few people and they're nervous about ordering out of country, but I haven't had any issues with it. So not saying that you will have any issues, and I'm not doing a disclaimer that you won't. I didn't have any issues with it, so I'm just going to chop my corners. And then also too, depending on it, you may want to just take a little bit off. Not a lot, just a little angle it there. You do that. And then just make sure you burnish. So as you can see it or not. Just very little. But it's going to get covered with pattern paper, so it's not really going to matter too much on that. So just like the other one, I'm going to line it up. Just like that. Hold it. Just going to untuck that flap. And then I'm going to stick it down. And then I'll show you the contrast. There, just like that. They're so pretty. That's the other side. So let me just show you really quick how I cut the pattern paper for these now. So my pocket is 6 inches and I want to leave 1/8 of an inch on each side. So I cut my paper down to 5 3/4. And basically you're doing this the exact same way. So, but it is a little shorter, so it's actually kind of easier because you don't have to line up score lines this time. So what you want to do, so for like this, again, just kind of press it, light pressure. And then I'm going to run it through my machine. Make sure it goes good and through. I can feel it when the dies get into the cutting part. It gets a little harder to push. And then remove the washi tape. And that is so thin at the top, I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to go ahead and pull it. So then what I want to do is now I'm going to take my pocket and I'm going to eyeball it to where I need it to go, right there. And then just because I'm not exactly sure on the size, it's just easier to do it this way. So I line up and then also again just eyeball up approximately a little less than 1/4, between 1/4 and 1/8, like 2/16 or something like that. I just eyeball it to cut it. And then you just line it up just like that. So pretty. And then let's just do the other side real quick so I can show the opposite side. Now again, this is the one where you have to use the ruler because it is just a small point. So I'm going to get everything there, set this up. And I'm using the flat part of the ruler, I don't think I said that before, because it's going to go flat up against my scoreboard. So I'm just going to slowly push it over till I find it. And that looks good. Light pressure. And now I'm just going to tape it down. And we are going to cut that one. We are almost done. And if you hung in here for the full tutorial, thank you so much. I appreciate you watching. And if you're interested, I'd love it if you subscribe. Give me a thumbs up as well. I'm slowly approaching the 1,700 mark, so that's kind of exciting for subscribers that many of you have hit the subscribe button. So I totally appreciate that. I can't thank you enough. Let's pop this off. And so if you are wondering, the die that I'm using here for my demo is CLOTE 33. Let's see that there. And I will have a video of all the new dies that I got and how I used them, or what they look like being used rather. So again, eyeball it. When you're eyeballing it, just watch where all these little corners line up. And just my little mark. And just like that. all lined up and all pretty. I did also get another set of the smaller dies, and I do use these the exact same way that I'm using the big ones. So just follow that same method and you'll be able to do the same thing. Anyway, I hope that helps you if you've got these dies or other edge dies. That way you kind of have an understanding how you can get them lined up. It's pretty easy. And till next time, guys, happy crafting. Thanks for stopping by, and I'll see you next time. Bye.